Hey, what's up, everybody? So today is actually a kickoff to a series that I'm going to be posting various videos on moving forward, where I'm actually going to help you go through your collections and help you identify what cards are valuable and really what to look for. So we're going to start today off with base set, and I'll show you examples on how to identify those cards and kind of what eras that you have and what to be looking for. And then moving forward, we'll go through all the rest of the sets, Fossil Jungle, and move up through all the eras and all the different times of Pokemon. So that way, as you're going through your own individual collections, you can keep an eye out for what's valuable. Yep, so like I said, skipping over to pokedata.io. This is one of my favorite websites, so where you can scroll through all the sets of Pokemon, click into each of these, and then get a general sense of what pricing looks like for these cards. Given I take all the pricing on here with a grain of salt, it can be inflated because it also takes into effect and into account some graded card prices that have been sold on eBay. So some of these raw card prices do get a little inflated. But in any case, today we're going to be focusing on base set first edition. So the very first English set to be printed and widely distributed in the US. Base set Shadowless, base set Unlimited. We'll skip through Jungle First Edition, Jungle, Fossil First Edition, Fossil, and then Base Set 2. So just a reminder, there is no First Edition for Base Set 2. It is just that reprint of Base Set Unlimited. So let's show you some examples on how to identify cards. So starting off with Base Set First Edition, or Shadowless First Edition, we have here a Shadowless First Edition card. So this is a Magmar from that very first set. And you can see you have that first edition stamp here, and then a picture without any kind of shadowing around that. And what do I mean by shadowing? Well, if we skip to the base set Unlimited set, you can see here this Charmander is from that base set Unlimited, and that has this black shadowing around the border, which is ultimately what Pokemon move towards. So you can see here, no shadowing and shadowing versus the first edition Shadowless and the base set Unlimited. Now, if we drop that first edition, the next set in Pokemon is actually just Shadowless. So you have that first edition print, and then you have Shadowless here. And I'll show you in a second here how all these prices really differ across cards. So here's Shadowless versus that Shadow card. You can really see the different texture and print colors on these two cards here. And then lastly, we skip past Jungle and Fossil and we go to base set 2. And you can identify this. This is the same exact card as the Unlimited, except it has this base set 2 stamp on the card there. So you have base set 2, base set Unlimited, Shadowless, and then that Shadowless First Edition. Okay, so here again, we're back on pokedata.io. Love this because you can scroll through all the sets through all the eras, which we'll be going through, and I'll be highlighting some particular cards throughout the way, so that way you guys can, again, figure out what's valuable in your own collection. So to start off, here are the card lists and pricing for base set first edition, or that Shadowless first edition set. And as you can see, a lot of these cards are extremely valuable because they are really hard to find, and they are some of the first ever cards printed in English. So you can tell that these cards are going to have the red hit point or HP up there at the top, that Shadowless border, and that first edition stamp on those. And a lot of these holos are extremely valuable, especially if they're in good condition, and you can go ahead and submit those to PSA. You get a really great return on a lot of these cards. I was going to make this video example with a first edition Shadowless Charmander, but those are ranging anywhere from $50 to $120. Didn't feel like dropping that much just for the sake of a video on this. So yeah, there we can see all these first edition Shadowless cards, and even some of these base set ones, or the bulk cards, and all the trainers are still having a pretty hefty price tag on those. If we move over to Shadowless, again, a bit of an error. That's where I'm saying the nuances with Pokedata. It's showing that this Shadowless Charizard is worth more than the first edition Shadowless. I don't necessarily believe that to be the case, but in any case, here we can still see a lot of those holos going for large amounts of money. So if you have any of these in your collection, definitely worth getting those out of those binders and into some penny sleeves and top loaders to protect those a bit better, and maybe even considering getting them graded if they're in good gradable condition. We then move on to base set, which is definitely more the era which I started collecting. Didn't really get into the opportunity for base set first edition or Shadowless cards You can see here, even these holos still having some really expensive price tags on those near mint conditions. And then, going all the way down through, still some decent cards to look into, but the bulk cards do start to drop in value a little bit after that. And then lastly, we skip over Fossil and Jungle sets. Those came out pretty much together. But then we have this base set 2 reprint where, again, those holos still are fetching pretty large prices across the board. And yeah, so here we have all those sets kind of explained. So hopefully you can take a visit over to pokedata.io and do some own research of your own, and hopefully you're finding some hidden gems in those binders.